What is up, everybody? This is Mr. Richard. We are finally back after, I want to say, 3 week hiatus. Really, no reason other than, honestly, I just found it hard to sit down and record for, a couple weeks. It just wasn't in me. I just didn't have it in me the past few weeks. I also haven't done my fast Wednesdays the past few weeks. I'm not doing it today even. So we're on a we're vibing a little different than the past few times. But welcome back to I'm So Beastly. Welcome back. This is episode 17. Um, and today I'm going to talk about soul purpose. Okay. And what really got this in my head, there was an instance the other day, and it was basically someone said something about soul purpose. Um, or no, it wasn't even, someone didn't even say it. I've been trying to grow my TikTok, trying to get my books out there, trying to get more awareness around the podcast. My goal, I'm trying to help raise vibration, right? That is my sole purpose. Okay, not to be mistaken with soul purpose. Sounds the same, two very different meanings. And that's kind of what got me set off on this topic, right? So soul purpose, SOLE purpose is like your only purpose. Okay, the only thing you're focused on right now. And a lot of times the soul purpose, SOLE, is different from your soul purpose, SOUL. And so as I'm trying to, create awareness out there, yes, attention is currency. I've been trying to gain attention, but for positive things, for I'm trying to increase knowledge, I'm trying to raise vibration out there, right? So I'm trying to do this in a positive way. Yes, I'm trying to benefit as well, but I'm trying to also add value to others' lives. Okay, so it's twofold. I'm trying to bring attention to myself, but in that I'm trying to assist the vibrational raising of others, right? I'm trying to add knowledge to their lives. I'm trying to add value to their lives. Okay, but I see a lot of people on there, on TikTok, on Instagram, on all these social media sites. YouTube's a huge one. And a lot of things they talk about is just gaining followers to make money. But there's no value there. They don't bring value. Some will say, "Oh, well, one person's value isn't the same to another person." And that's very true. That is a super true statement. Drinking my iced coffee. Ooh, leftover from this morning. Not iced from this morning. It was hot this morning. It's room temp now, but I poured it over some ice. We're good to go. Right? So, yes, what is valuable to one person is not valuable to another. And so, but I can't get behind people who are solely only out there for the purpose of gaining followers or making money. It's a very 3D way of thinking, and live and let live. Who am I to say that that's wrong? Okay, and I'm not saying this because they've figured out something that I haven't as far as attention goes, you know, or maybe I have figured it out. I just don't feel like doing it. I just don't want to be that person. And it's okay if they do, but we need to understand what is attention seeking for the sake of attention, or what is this attention seeking for the sake of genuine value, genuine enhancement, what like truly growth assistance, right? The growth mindset. If your sole purpose is gaining money, SOLE, then you don't really have the true growth mindset. Maybe you do, but it's just in the wrong lane, right? Our purpose on this earth is to experience everything, is to grow, to enlighten, to gain as much knowledge as possible. right? There's nothing wrong with gaining money, but to make it your sole purpose, to lose yourself in that game, to lose yourself in that venture is not the way. You need to you need to have something to stand for and rock with it through thick and thin, right? Through good and bad. You should have a moral compass, so to speak, and follow it one way or the other. All right, for me, I've had opportunities to have a job that pays more money than what I'm making now as a teacher. I've had opportunities to different instances to promote certain things, mind you, like small level things, but still to promote things or do things. But I didn't agree with them, right? They didn't fall in line with my sole purpose. They didn't bring value to anyone. They didn't increase knowledge, raise vibration. So I didn't do them. I'm not going to do them. I could, we could all easily do certain things like, but it's not there for us. So anyway, I guess my point with all this is do things because it's your sole purpose, SOUL, not your sole purpose, SOLE, right? But this also connects to the soul contract. And so for those of you who don't know what a soul contract is, basically this is the reality that we perceive right now. The reality we're living is the only one that we are actively perceiving as real, as true. Okay? These bodies are not us. This is the body we have chosen for this lifetime. This is just our avatar. But we are truly the mind, we are the soul, right? That is taking on this suit, this meat suit, right? So, but the soul contract basically is you sign it with a purpose in mind, a goal to accomplish, or a path to follow, essentially. And it's going to, the things that are going to get you to that path, whether it's a small step or a big step, it's going to pull you strongly. And that step, it could be something as simple as meeting someone. It could be something as being in the right place at the right time to hear a piece of information. It could be something as, finding a book at the proper time and reading it, seeing something, and that completely changing your mindset. It could be any number of things because meeting the right person could set you on a totally different path. Um, well, not a totally different path per se, but what I mean is it could propel you towards your sole purpose, right? Towards why you came down to live this round, to play this game this time. And so we all have this. I talked in a previous episode about finding your genius, right? This is essentially the same thing. So your genius, every single person on earth, okay? Every single soul has something that they are great at. And it may not be, perceived as great to someone else because they think it's playful, right? But some people are great at telling stories. Some people are great at music. Some people are great at business, provided, yes, business is sometimes for the sole purpose of money, but sometimes people are great at doing business and they choose to do the right lane. Some get sucked into into the money. And like I said, I'm not religious, but money is the root of all evil. That is a very true statement. It's not a religious thing, it is a very real life thing, right? So the money can change a person even if they're on the right path. It can take them away from the right path and they may never find their right path again. They may never fulfill their soul contract that they signed before they came down here. And these are things that we forget about. And even I want to say, I think it was Socrates, Plato, or Aristotle who said essentially the same thing. And it's in this book I'm reading currently, The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall. And he mentions one of them, and I think it was Socrates, but I can't remember exactly who, but I know it was one of the big three Greek philosophers. And so it was interesting. So he essentially mentioned soul contracts without saying soul contract, but basically saying we forget the reason we come down here. until a point where we remember it. Right? So we go through this soul contract. We have a purpose in mind. We know what we're supposed to do. We know why we're down here. And then we come down here and we forget it. And then we go through trials and tribulations in this earth, in this life, and we end up remembering bits and pieces here and there, and then we get pulled towards one thing, pushed away from another, right? Some things work out, some things don't, but it's all by design, right? We have free will. We can make any decision we want, but there's always going to be something that's tugging at us a little stronger. And if we let life kind of happen and really listen to what's going on, we'll know exactly where we're being pulled. Right? My sole purpose, I know for a fact, my sole purpose is to help raise the vibration and to heal others around me, whether that's physical, spiritual, mental, whatever. My goal my purpose on this earth is to assist others and raise the vibration and basically heal the souls around me and earth. Heal myself, everything, raise all the vibrations around us. No, I'm not the only one that is in this path, but I know that that is my path, right? And part of that for me is through storytelling, right? I am a natural storyteller. That is what one of my gifts that I've been given in this lifetime. That's one of what one of my gifts is. Okay. Obviously, there's plenty of other storytellers, right? They may not choose to connect it to what they're meant to do. They may get sucked away. They may be great at telling stories, but then they don't tell the stories they're supposed to. Now, it's interesting, right? Even plenty of storytellers, they lose their way, they lose their voice, they get too caught up in mass marketability. And I get it. It's easy to get sucked away into that lifestyle, into that mindset, because everybody we want to be at the top of our field, whatever that may be. In my case, I'm an author, right? Yes, I'm a teacher in every aspect, but I'm an author as well, and I would love to be at the top of my field. And I think ability wise and message, I feel like I am at or near the top of my field, at least in my category. Right? I write more along the lines of philosophical fiction. I don't set out to do that, but that's kind of how my stories go because I just write what comes to me. I write stream of consciousness in a genre that is pretty much only classified as sandbox literature. Right? There's really no rules. There's really no rules right now. Okay? It's just one of those things. It's like the story needs to breathe. The story needs to be told. We shouldn't be washing the story away, right? To make it fit a genre. We should allow the story to choose the genre after it's been finished, right? But anyway, all right, that's neither here nor there. That's not that's let's move on from that. But I get sidetracked so easily, and I'm sure you know if you've listened to me before. But the sole purpose is something that is going to draw you, it's going to pull you in. It's going to tug at you, and it's going to be so strong that you can't resist it. You may want to, you may not think that it's the best path for you, but the thing that pulls you the strongest, the thing you can't get off your mind, right? That is what you need to be doing. That is what you're going to be the most passionate about. That is what is going to bring you the most success in this life and beyond this life, right? That is what you can do to assist humanity the most, to assist yourself the most. And it's in it, I get it, it's hard because most of us don't wake up to what our purpose is. Most of us don't see beyond the 3D. And I fully get that. Like I get it's difficult to do. It's a scary thing to do. But if you truly just listen to your thoughts and have distraction-free self-reflection time. You can really understand yourself a whole lot more and find out what your purpose is. What is your soul purpose? Right? What is your soul contract? What did you sign? Why are you here this time around? And once you do that, honestly, it makes life that much more exciting, right? It makes it more joyful. You just, things just become less of a, less of a struggle, less of a chore. They just become free. It flows better. It just makes more sense. That's it. Life makes more sense when you listen to yourself and follow your passions. It just makes more sense, right? But it's the sole purpose, SOUL, is never going to be financial gain. It's always going to be more than that. It may bring financial gain. It may bring an easy 3D life with it, but the actual purpose itself is never going to be financial gain. Therefore, your sole purpose, SOLE, should not be focused on financial gain. It's going to do more harm than good, right? It may make your life easy, but it's going to upset the balance of things, perhaps in your timeline in the future. Maybe this is the lifetime you chose and you're only supposed to have financial gain. So, maybe your sole purpose, SOUL, is to experience that life. Maybe your sole purpose, SOUL, is to not, understand beyond the 3D, understand beyond chasing finances. So I guess when I put it in perspective, I guess I just talked myself into understanding that, sometimes since we do sign a soul contract, sometimes we do come down to a life of less knowledge. Sometimes it is our sole purpose, SOUL, to progress. It's a very difficult thing to grasp for me, I guess. But in the grand scheme, everybody is doing their thing. As long as everybody's aware enough of what they're doing and making proper decisions that are authentic and genuine, and they're not harming others, and their intent is proper, then you know what? I guess sometimes your sole purpose can be the same as your soul purpose, right? Your 5D soul purpose, SOUL, could be the same as your 3D soul purpose, SOLE. Interesting. Hmm. Okay, I guess I've talked myself out of. Oh, that's an interesting conundrum there. All right, we're probably. Hmm. I did not expect this to go like this. That is stream of consciousness at its best, going in with a topic at hand and coming out the other end completely changed of mind. I mean, I will never be for like, vicious pranks or whatever, violence towards others, anything like that. I think it's crazy. But yeah, as long as you're not purposefully trying to make those around you less intelligent or hurt those around you in any way, and as long as you're being authentic and genuine and with proper intent, then I guess we're good to go. All right, let's vibe, let's groove. Yes, we have completely shifted our understanding in this episode. What an interesting turn of events. Holy biscuits, that is something I did not expect in the slightest. Wow, okay. Ooh, brr. Interesting. On that note, we are going to stop and we're going to touch on the obvious, right? Um, this is episode 17, which means we have 117 more episodes until my vision of 134 episodes and 1 million followers/subscribers comes true. We have not gained any YouTube or Spotify. We're still sitting at proper 37, right? 27 on YouTube, 10 on Spotify. Um, as always, my books, Winston Feathersby, I'll let you know how it goes. The link will be in the bio and the description, as well as Dream Journal. That will be down there as well. And then, of course, the book I'm currently reading, The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall. That link will also be in the description. And yes, if you click on that and buy the book through there, I will make a couple pennies from this. Um, but, it's not going to cost you any extra. So consider it a tiny finder's fee from Amazon. Win-win for everybody. All right, yeah, that's basically it. This has been episode 17. I'm Mr. Richard. This is I'm So Beastly. You are so beastly. We are so beastly. Catch you next time.